How are you doing? It's like fancy cowboy boots I'm in.
A Cuban heel on me.
Okay, I know, but it's cool. It's like a fancy cowboy. I see you.
It is like a fancy New York
Yeah, I like it.
Cowboy boots.
It's dressy instead of casual.
Yeah.
Hey, you have a birthday coming up soon, right?
Yeah, 4th of November, that'd be soon.
Yeah, you're a Scorpio.
Yeah.
I have so many in my life. Do you get into birthdays? Do you celebrate?
My wife makes sure I do. Meaning
you don't really care.
Meaning I'm like, sometimes, you know, I'm like, no, reservations for 4 is just all I want. And she's like, okay, let's add a 0 on the end of that. You've got more friends than that, let's happen. So she surprises me with a lot of birthdays.
Oh my gosh, that's a fun surprise.
I'll think I'm coming home to the dinner party with 4 and there's 40 there and I'm consistently surprised.
Yes, that's awesome. Wait, so you're doing a lot right now. So tell us about the movie first. We just saw the clip.
Lost Bus, yeah. So that's based on a true story. Happened, there were fires in Paradise, California, 2018, 85 people deceased. Jamie Lee Curtis heard this story on NPR. Called Jason Blum, said, hey, I think there's a movie here. They got a hold of Paul Greengrass, a great director. They wrote a script. I got the call about it because it was true. I was really interested, and then it was really entertaining on the page as well. It's part horror movie, all right? So if you like horror, go for it. It's also big, massive action, but a really true story about humanity at the heart of it between myself and the character there played by America Ferrera.
Yeah.
That scene that you saw, that clip,
the decision.
The decision.
Yeah.
But the decision that he gets when he gets called to go pick up these 22 kids, he's just made the decision to haul butt back home and get his mom and his son who can't drive.
Yeah.
So now he's forced with the decision, do I continue or do I?
Yeah.
And he chooses to go get the kids, and you got to go see the movie, see what happens from that.
Yeah. So what's funny is the mom and son are literally your mom and son.
Yes.
Yeah, so were they pissed you didn't come get them? Just kidding. Just kidding.
They're still there.
Yeah,
Did they make it? Yeah,
You're gonna be fine. Yeah. No, that's amazing to get to work with your family like that. Did you ever see that coming?
No.
Yeah.
Now with my mom, I did. See, my mom's in the middle there. 93 years young, Kelly McConaughey.
Yeah.
She's been a performer since day one. And like, you know, if you ask her, of all my 54 performances, anyone she likes, she'll tell you, yep, and you know where he got it from.
Oh, I love it.
She means herself, right?
Yeah.
So my son, as I pitched the story to my family, as I always do, he's like, well, how old is this son in your movie? I said, he's about your age. He goes, have they cast it yet? I said, no. He goes, can I read for it? I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
He comes back the next day. Well, I heard that. I didn't know that he was interested.
Okay.
So I said, I want to see how much this kid wants to hustle for it.
Yeah.
He badgers me over 4 different times. And finally I go, okay, you want to do this? I'll tell you what. I'm going to talk to you about what acting is for a few hours. Then we're going to put you on and see what you got. Put him on camera. I'm like, okay, you can hold a frame. You're natural. You can behave honestly. That's a start. You got the instincts for it. I send it to the casting director with a note saying, I think this might be good enough for a callback. She writes back, I think it might be good enough to send to the director. I said, oh, if you do that, thank you. Please pull the last name off. Because if he gets it, I want to get him on his own merit and not feel like the last name led him into it.
You're such a Texan. That's such a Texan move.
Is
yes, yeah.
Right?
Earn it on your own.
Right? I get you in the door, now you handle it, right?
No, for sure.
So they sent the tape to the director, Paul Greengrass, and he says, this is the kid. And the cast director said, well, that is Matthew's son. And he goes, even better. So he's cast. And then halfway through the movie, he said he had one problem. He had sort of miscast or hadn't directed the scene that we had already shot with the lady who was cast with my mother prior.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm looking for, you know, another cast for the mother, and we've got to rewrite this scene. He goes, what about your mom? And I go, well, Paul, great idea, but let me get her in front of you on tape. And I tell my mom, I said, Mom, send me a 1-minute video about why you love being a mom.
Yeah.
She sends me an 8-minute video. I show that to Paul. He goes, she's great.
Oh, my God.
She's got the part. So we have my mom and my son. I'm in 2 scenes with them. And I heard it hasn't been done since the Douglases, and I never thought or even dreamed that would happen. But it's something that's going to get cooler and cooler as time goes by.
Yeah. I'm having, look, this just hit me. I'm having such a hard time because we have seen Sing and Sing 2 so much that you're the koala right now.
Buster Moon.
I had no idea this was gonna happen, and I'm having such a hard time
Are my ears getting big and furry right now?
You're sleeping in the drawer. I'm like, it is like I just didn't see it coming. But as he talks, I mean, I love you from a billion things, but for some reason, Sing and Sing 2 are Look, you do great work.
Yeah, babies had your kids before.
I mean, literally, I didn't see it coming, and I was like, don't laugh, don't laugh. I'm like, I'm having such a hard time with separation. I'm gonna be professional, Matthew. His new movie is called The Last Bus. It's in select theaters right now, and he's also got a new book out, and it's called Poems and Prayers. Real quick, did you grow up saying poem or poem?
Poem.
Me too. Poem, right?
Is it a Texas thing?
No, I don't know. We sound like idiots, but I do
Poem.
too. Yeah, yeah. And my friend was like, that's not how you say it. And apparently you say poem.
Washington or Washington?
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
New Orleans or?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
wrong with I don't know.
Hey, it works.
We
They know what
sound
we're talking
uneducated,
about.
but we're so lovely.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I didn't know that. But how long have you been writing poetry? How long have you been into this?
Probably since I was 18.
Oh.
You know.
What got you into it?
Oh, I was an exchange student in Australia, losing my mind.
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, ultimately a good way, but at the time,
Hard
I
at
could have been
first.
checked in.
Yeah.
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 I would have been, yeah. So I was writing poems that make sense of myself, of the world. You know, when you're young, you're asking those why questions, the big why me? You think the world's revolving around you. You're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes poetry's a place to go where there's really no rules to how you write it, and you can make sense and see some beauty in things that you wouldn't see logically otherwise. So I was writing then. Again, I was kind of losing my mind in Australia. I was writing 16-page letters to myself and returning them with a 17-page letter. So
are people in white rooms with padded walls. I was like, that sounds crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I could have been certified, but I made it out. I
Yeah.
made it out.
Yeah.
And the poetry writing helped me make
Yeah.
sense of it. Yeah.
No, that was how I got into songwriting. I had such a hard time communicating. And it took me time to kind of decipher what was happening, and so writing helped me work it out.
Yeah.
It was very therapeutic. You wrote this book though because it's hard to know what to believe in. Explain that.
So I think belief's in short supply right now, and I get it. We look around, turn on the news, look at a lot of our leaders, examples, and there's a lot of reasons not to believe or people not to believe in.
Or just
And-
lose hope and yeah.
Well, yeah, but hope doesn't have a plan. If you get what you want that you hope for, you kind of got lucky. Belief is different. Belief has a plan in front of it. You see your way to get there. It's got an engine behind it. That's why I believe belief is more necessary than just hope. And look, the opposite of belief is doubt. And if the doubt wins, we're all going to lose. So belief is worth grabbing a hold of and not conceding and not saying, hey, this is just how the world works. We got to find belief, whether that's belief in God, whether that's belief in ourselves, whether that's belief in our kids, something in the future,
Community, anything.
whatever it can be that you value and care about. And I always say this, and I don't mean to be morose about this. People go, well, I don't know what to believe in. I go, well, start with who or what would you die for? And if you can answer that question, double down on that, and that's worth living for. And so we got to have some more belief if we're gonna.
So you're a preacher. You
Sometimes
sound
it
like a
happens.
preacher. Your Airstream is on the back of the book, and did you write a lot in the Airstream?
A lot of these poems are from the 4 years I spent in the Airstream. This is out, I believe, in Utah. You want to hear the story about where I parked there?
I do with that laugh.
Well, I pull in. I'd been driving for about 20 hours. I'm really tired. It's late afternoon. I just pull off this dirt road in Utah in the middle of the desert. And I go past these rundown little trailers, and I was like, oh, people were coming outside, smoking their cigarettes, and running back in. I was like, oh, this is a meth camp.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So I drive on by, and past the wandering eyes and the twitches and everything. And I drive on out in the middle of the desert, and I understood by that time, I'd stayed in some places where weren't the safest.
Yeah.
So I understood how to get out. You stand up, you walk deliberately, the dog comes out, maybe grab the baseball bat and stretch a little bit.
Yeah.
Make them, when they're looking at you in the binoculars, at least think, if we're gonna rob somebody, maybe we pick the next guy.
Yeah.
Right?
You're so Texan.
Okay.
Keep going.
So,
Okay.
I go in, I'm sleeping, and I got the bat next to me, and all of a sudden, 4 a.m., boom, I fly out of bed, and I'm thinking maybe someone's trying to break it. It wasn't. I, unbeknownst to me, had backed my Airstream up 6 feet away from a railroad line, and this train came by and missed me by 6 feet and ran it, boo, boo, and I flew out of bed, and that's what it was.
You felt the wind from that.
I felt, the whole
Yeah,
Airstream
yeah.
shook off the wheels. So that's that spot right there.
Okay, question. I ask most Texas kids this because I feel like there's trains everywhere everyone grows up. Did you ever want to jump on one just to see where the hell you ended up?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Can you tell what happened? How old were you?
I was 14.
See, I would have, none of my friends would do it. And I was too chicken to do it by myself.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did. I think I ended up out near El Paso.
the middle of nowhere, man.
Then caught a Greyhound back.
Yeah.
And luckily I had a, what did I tell my parents? I don't remember.
Out with a friend.
But I kind of got away with it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like too, when we were younger too, we got away with a lot of that because it was like, just be back before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
was it.
never let my kids live by that rule. So many Dateline specials happen before the sun goes down, and I'm like, no, no way. So you're on a book tour, and I want to talk about it, because I've done a book tour, like a children's book before, and I just did the thing that you do. You go to like sign books at
Bookstore.
Barnes & Noble, or even like mom and pop shops. Like, it's like one of those things, but you did something cooler.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is not going to the bookstore getting signatures, and this is actually, we got theaters and
Yeah.
invited musicians to come play with me. New York, I had John Bon Jovi. That was
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. Then
Never heard of him.
Nashville, right? Lucas Nelson.
Yeah.
In Nashville. Then went on to Tulsa, Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Then went to L.A., John Mayer, and then returned
Good Lord.
to my hometown of Austin and John Batiste.
That's my favorite. I bet that was beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, and I'm reciting poems and talking about belief in different things, and they're chiming in and they're playing scores underneath, and we made some songs out of them. It was a magical experience.
It's like an improv jazz thing. I really like it. Yeah. I'm into it. You say that you often hear music when you're writing, which is funny because when I'm writing music, I have imagery. I have movies going on in my head. So you're the opposite. So do you always do that?
I'll have a meter or a tune that'll pop up. I've got this poem, Capably Able, that I woke up at 3 in the morning and had this little kind of Bob Dylan Highway 61 revisited little beat. And I got up, you get up and you go like, oh, I don't want this to be interrupted.
Yes.
So you quietly walk over, don't wake anyone up, and you start writing to that beat and fill out the meter.
Yeah.
4 hours later, look up and see if you got something worth a damn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.